Hello and welcome to this video where we're going to work on back strength and shoulder strength and all things upper body and back body. So with all of these exercises we'll do today, it's a quick one. It'll be over before you know it. This one is designed to make you feel taller and stronger, working on feeling more self-assured, which just is a natural byproduct of when you stand up tall and throw your shoulders back, keep your chin up. This one's straight up for self-confidence. Okay, so let's get started. Things you might need. A block is nice to have, but not a need to have, or something block shaped. A book or something like that maybe to have nearby. And then we'll get started. So Balasana Child's Pose is the recommended pose, but please take any pose that feels comfortable for you. So maybe that's Virasana Hero Pose, maybe it's something else. If you are in Child's Pose, taking a moment to settle in, focusing on where the body meets the mat, right in the forehead area, closing the eyes, whatever position you're in, starting to feel that contact with the earth and settling in. From here, focusing on feeling grounded. This will be a strength class today, so feeling that strength from earth, letting that resonate up through your mat, through the floor, right to you. Take a moment to feel that strength. And for the next few moments, setting an intention for your practice, thinking along the lines of something strong. So whatever you need that's strength related is a great intention. Maybe that's more self-confidence, that feeling of being self-assured, not letting anyone step all over you, chin up, all those things. Kind of boiling it all down to one main thing. Maybe that's inner strength, and holding that intention for a moment before we get started. Taking 3 slow, deep breaths here. Nice and slow. Really expansive deep breaths. So an extra little sip of air on each inhale, and then squeezing out that last puff of air on every exhale. Really getting that oxygen flow happening. From here, slowly blink the eyes open and make your way all the way up and back to a downward facing dog. Take your time, setting up your hands to be just slightly wider than shoulders width apart. Tucking the toes under, hips go up and back, maybe walking it out a minute. Gently lower through hands and knees. And we'll get started with our first little exercise. So this class will be a series of just quick and dirty. 1 minute. I'm going to grab my 1 minute timer here, otherwise known as the cell phone, but it seems to keep my life all together. And so 1 minute, our first exercise is, in yoga, we tend to do those triceps push-ups with our chaturangas. So for this exercise, muscle confusion, get those hands nice and wide. You can tuck the toes under and have a full push-up position. I recommend knees down in like a modified push-up position, wherever you're at. The other thing to note is when we start this timer, if you can't make a full minute, that's okay. So rule number 1, never criticize yourself. You're here, and that's amazing and awesome, okay? Promise me that. So from here, you can take little breaks if you need to, and then just jump back in when you can. Here we go. The timer's going. So at your own pace, nice big wide push-ups. In our triceps push-ups, like for chaturanga, we keep the elbows tucked in tight. For this one, let them splay outward. Just be sure we're not cupping the hands. So we're still pressing down into the roots of the index fingers. And if you're like, oh, that's too much, lower down to your knees. But keep going. They can be nice and slow. Or if you're in wicked awesome shape, just look like a hummingbird, just up, down, up, down. That's fine too. Either way, keep breathing. We're in the home stretch now. So wherever you're at, maybe your knees are on the ground, maybe your knees are up, or maybe you're taking a break. Last 15 seconds. See, we're almost done. See if you can scoop the belly in really strong. Make it more about the core than anything else. Last 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently lower the knees down if not already, and head back to a child's pose. While I try to figure out my phone. See, that's not so bad. Warms up the arms. Next up, while our arms are feeling like jello, if they are, heading into the most challenging one, in my opinion, of this class, but it's really the funnest, dolphin. Okay, so it's dolphin little pulses. So taking your pants, hiking them up a little bit. Step number 1. Then take a block. Hands on the outside of the block to be sure that we don't splay outward and let the hands go inward. That's what our body wants to do, but we're trying to use deep into the mid-back muscles. So keep those arms parallel. Without further ado, let's start. Tuck the toes under. Hips press up and back. Maybe you just want to hold here. If you want a little extra challenge, you can do little pulses. So the heart presses back towards the feet and release. Back towards the feet and release. Keep going. Taking rest at any time. Almost done already. And we're done. Taking a child's pose, knees lower down. That's a doozy. You'll notice I don't talk very much when I do that one because it takes all of my focus and attention. Okay, carrying on, trying to just whip through this video as quickly as possible, heading onto our bellies. I just realized I have my washing machine going, so you can probably hear that in the background, and it's like an old one, so it's working just as hard as I am. Anyways, making sure you have enough room. I almost don't here. Heading into T's. So arms are straight out to the sides. What we want to do here is scoop the belly in, and it's almost like the most uncomfortable position. So nose to your mat, pull the belly in, almost like you're trying to pull your belly up off the floor. It probably won't actually come up off the floor, but that's what we're trying to do. Tail tucks under, belly scoops up off the floor, and we're doing like a flying motion. I'll start the timer in 1 second here. Here we go. Belly scoops in, nose to the ground, arms go up, up. It doesn't have to be very high. Trying to keep the back flat. So nose to the mat, belly scoops in, and tail tucks under. Shoulders down away from the ears. If it's not feeling that awkward, pull your belly in more. Tuck the tailbone under, shoulders down more. Fingers are squeezed together, so we've got that directed energy. Keep going. Arms are straight and strong. Feeling the back body strength. Double check for the last few moments here. Nose to the ground. Scooping the belly in. Tucking the tail under. Shoulders down away from the ears. And release. Heading into child's pose. Just taking a couple deep breaths here. So allowing yourself that space to relax. We're almost done the whole set. So just relaxing, relaxing. And from here, heading into Y. So it's a very similar startup position. The only difference is your arms are in a Y position, like you're about to sing YMCA, but you stop at the Y. Okay? So same position exactly, but arms in a Y, shoulders down away from the ears, tuck the tailbone under. Here we go. Arms go up and up. For some of us, they may not even go up. They might just kind of go, and nothing moves. That's okay too. This one should feel a lot more awkward than the last one. Double check, shoulders are down. Scooping the belly in, tucking the tailbone under. And release. Finding a child's pose. And if you grunt, that's okay. It means you're working really hard, and that's awesome. There's only one more in our set. Okay, here we go. Next up are called up downs. You might need to hike up your pants again for this one. Save the best for last. Okay, so for this one, we start in a push-up position, so maybe that's with your knees down on the ground. I'm actually going to start the timer as I explain it. It's that much fun. Okay, so either knees on the ground or knees up. Right arm goes down to a forearm. Left arm goes down to the forearm. Right arm goes up. Left arm goes up. Other side. Left, right, left, right. First side again. And you just keep going. Okay? At your own pace. Try to make this more about the core. Even if your shoulders and arms are on fire and back, pull the belly in more. See if you can get the core as fired up as your arms are. We're almost done already. Keep going. Try not to swing too much, not using too much momentum. And we're done. Gently lower the knees. Find a child's pose. Soften and relax. Couple deep breaths. Melting and softening in those spaces that are on fire a little bit. And come on up. The one thing that I forgot to mention Forgot. We're going to run through all those one more time. And if you're like, yeah, then that's great. If you're like, why, Carla? No. Just know it's only 1 minute and you can take more rest this time than last time, okay? This is all bonus. This is gravy. Even if you do nothing but just watch me and laugh, that's fine, okay? Flying through them all now that we know what we're doing, we start with wide push-ups. Ready? And begin. So maybe knees are on the ground, maybe they're not. Remember, this is super temporary. It's only 5 minutes. I mean, altogether 5 minutes. There's 5 exercises, 1 minute each. 5 minutes of push-ups, could you imagine? I'm not making you do that. So for me, I'm like, that's lots. I'm going down to my knees. So remember to break or modify when you need to. And if you're like, yeah, I got more energy now, then pop back in to the full version. Whatever works for you. You're here, you've arrived, you showed up to your practice. That is enough. Wherever you're at, scoop the belly in, last 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Child's pose. We get a full rest between exercises. Couple deep breaths, really releasing all those spaces that just worked really, really hard. And then moving on to the next one, Dolphin. So I'm going to grab my block again. Here we go. Ready and begin. Remember to take rest when you need to. It's not necessarily being heroic if you keep going when you lose the integrity of the pose. So if you feel your alignment start to slip, do take that rest. Remembering to breathe. And rest. Full and complete rest. Couple deep breaths. And preparing for a tease. So that's where we're on our belly. Laying down. Ready? Arms out to the sides. Nose to the floor. And begin. Scooping the tailed one under. Long straight arms. Shoulders down. Keep going. We're almost done. There's less than 3 minutes of hard work left in this whole class. So fight for it a little bit as we come to the very end of the class. But don't lose the integrity. Shoulders are down, belly scooped in. And you're done. Take a rest. Maybe that's a child's pose. Maybe you're like, and then you just hang out and pancake for a sec. Because our next one is wise. So if you're like, I'm just going to not move, that's fair. Just take a rest for a couple seconds. Or maybe you're in child's pose. I'm in one of those I ain't moving situations for me personally. Okay. Oh goodness. Arms are feeling jello already. Heading into our Ys. Last two little exercises. Here we go. Arms in a Y, nose to the floor, and begin. Shoulders down. Pull the belly in. Tuck the tailbone under. Breathing as deeply as you can in this position. If you need to rest, by all means, and then pop back in when you can. Last few moments. And release. So you might not want to go to child's pose. You might just want to stay in pancake pose, or maybe it's child's pose. We only have one left. Couple deep breaths here. And then we head into our up downs. Which means we have to get up. That's no problem. Okay, here we go. So we get up, and then we get up, and we're up. Ready or not, this is happening. I'm starting the timer. So remember, from your plank, which could be knees on the floor, right down, right up, left up. Try to make this more about your core than about anything else. So belly scoops in strong. And keep alternating sides. We're half done. Try not to use so much momentum. Last few moments. Last 10 seconds. Belly scooping in even stronger. Last 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Child's pose. Softening and melting. Couple deep breaths. And you're all done. Getting ready for Shavasana, final resting pose. So getting whatever you need to feel cozy. And maybe your back needs a little extra support today, so feel free to keep the knees bent with the feet on the floor. Otherwise, extending the arms and the legs, palms facing up, and closing the eyes. Softening everything. But especially through the neck and the shoulders and all the way down the arms. See if you can feel all that warmth in the arms and the back that you just created. And allowing yourself to feel heavy into the floor. Softening through the face. Softening around the eyes. and even the muscle between the eyes. Just letting it all go. And if you'd like to stay a little longer, feel free to do so. Otherwise, starting to come back, wiggling fingers and toes, and gently roll your head from side to side. Then reaching your arms above head on the floor, give yourself a big stretch, feeling totally refreshed. Then bending your knees, gently roll over to your right side and pause there for a few moments. As you come back, and then slowly start to press yourself all the way up to a comfortable seated position, taking all the time you need. But when you arrive, palms facing up in the knees, inhale, sitting up tall. Exhale, softly close the eyes. Just coming back to your intention for a moment. Remembering that strength. Sometimes we tend to lose it when we're tired. Remember the visuals, whatever occurred to you in your centering practice. Maybe it was earth, all the strength in earth, and allowing that to move to you. And then taking another little moment, just of thought to someone else today who might need it. That little extra thought of love and acceptance. And slowly open the eyes. Namaste, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me. It's hard to even get my hands to do this. It will feel much better later. We're getting so much stronger. Thank you so much for joining me on this whole challenge. I'm really excited about it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.